Hello pilots and welcome back to another X-Wing Flight video brought to you by Out of Art Gaming. As always, my name is Phil and today we have the classic matchup, Rebels versus Empire. We've got B-Wings, we've got TIE Fighters, we've got A-Wings, Y-Wings, and we have Darth Vader. What more could you want in a classic matchup? This one's going to be chance engagement this time as well, so no one having to worry about pesky objectives to get in the way. It's basically going to be a slugfest. And let's run through those lists. So on the left-hand side, we have myself running the Rebels. We've got Gina Moonsong in the B-Wing with fire control system, heavy laser cannon, and stabilized S-foils. Braylen Stramm also in a B-Wing with Predator, fire control system, heavy laser cannon, some seismic charges, and stabilized S-foils. Dutch Vander in the Y-Wing with Dorsal Turret, R3 Astromech, Bomblet Generator, and delayed fuses. And we really wanted to get Dutch on the channel since the sad passing of the actor who played Dutch. So it's nice to get him on the channel. Also, great pilot in the game. We've got Derek Klivian in the A-Wing with Marksmanship, Proton Rockets, and the vectored cannons. And we also have, rounding out the list, Grey Squadron Bomber with Dorsal Turrets, R3 Astromech, Seismic Charge, cluster missiles, and delayed fuses. Now, one thing I do want to quickly point out, yes, that's only one B-Wing on the board, and it is actually an X-Wing that is tilted. We didn't actually pack a second B-Wing in our pack, and no one else had one, so using an X-Wing on its side as a proxy for this, again, casual game, tip, don't try and pack your stuff the day you're going to play whilst working. It's always better if you try and do it the night before and make sure you got everything. But yeah. On the other side, we've got Ben once again. He's running the Empire. He's got Darth Vader with Marksmanship, a fire control system, and afterburners. And he has 4 TIE Fighters. He's got Hal Runner with Marksmanship, hull upgrade. Iron Versio with Predator and hull upgrade. Del Meeko with Predator and hull upgrade. And Gideon Hask, that's right, Predator and hull upgrade. So these are some beefy TIE Fighters, lots of cool abilities that I'm going to have to get past there. Gideon in particular is going to be quite scary, as other than my A-Wing, I am very low agility on my ships. A lot of health, but low agility. So it's going to be interesting to see how this matches up, especially when you've got a mini TIE Swarm coming at you. That can be quite devastating. With them all being I4 and Hal Runner throwing out rerolls left, right, and centre. Potential for double reroll there with Predator as well, which is going to be very tasty for Ben and potentially quite scary for myself. Also with Iden Versio's ability, who can just basically go, you know what, you're not going to cause any damage this turn, is going to be quite an interesting one to come up against. But it looks like we're going to have a bit of a classic joust down in that bottom side of the board. Y-Wing and 2 B-Wings coming up against 4 TIE Fighters. Now, if this was the movies, you would 100% be saying that this is definitely going to favour the Rebels. But unfortunately, it isn't always like the movies, so we'll have to see how it plays out. Bit of a slow roll from the Rebels, as always. Wanted to get some good positioning. Really looking to utilise that stabilised S4 and see if we can get those double shots with the B-Wings. Would have loved to have had proton cannons on there, but the B-Wings don't get the loadout they used to, which is fair but also disappointing, because you used to love having a really good loadout on the B-Wings and just be able to absolutely go crazy with them. So we'll just have to see what we can get going. And Vader over in the top corner, more than likely looking to flank around and try and cause an absolute nuisance there. So it's going to be interesting to see how long it takes Vader to get into the action, to be honest. My guess is not very long. He has afterburners, so he can boost in, and having access to a double action when using the focus is always going to be quite scary. There we go, so he's moved up quite fast there. The debate, does he use the afterburners? Will it get him in range for a long-range shot onto Derek? Just to remind the rebels that he is here and that all the action isn't just down at the bottom end of that board. So that's going to be fun to see how that plays out in a moment. Obviously that one bank boost does get you a bit further than you would anticipate, but would it be far enough to get a shot? That is the question, really. Going for it. And if it doesn't give Vader a shot here, it's still putting him into a really nice position to swing down into the rest. But there is, yes, he does have, just 100% double checking it. Yep, range 3 there from Vader. So he's going to grab his lock so he can activate the advanced target computer and get that additional dice and turn it into a crit. Fire control as well, really nice on there. And with force, you're laughing really. 3 force on there. He could obviously spend one of those and do another action, so we'll see if that's the direction he chooses to go with. And yes, it is. So that is, whilst it's a range 3 shot, it's a fully modded shot, so that gives him the best chance possible of getting some potential damage through against Derek, but it's going to be a lot there. So 2 hits using the fire control. So turning one up with the ATC, saving that focus just in case, because if Vader can shoot, then Derek can shoot as well. Or is he going full aggression? No, he's going full aggression. He's going to rely on his force there. Ooh, but Derek needs to spend his focus to not take any damage. Which means an unmodified shot back and nothing on there. So, a pretty standard turn 1, only a couple of shots. But the fight is about to be joined, and who is going to pull the trigger and moving quickly to close that distance and cause a nuisance? Will those TIE fighters go in hard and fast to try and capitalize on their predators, their range 1 bonuses, the reroll for Howl Runner, and all those scary things that they can do? I mean, as you said, Gideon, when he's attacking a damaged defender, he rolls an additional dice. So a range 3, that's a range 1, that's going to be a 4 dice shot. Del Miko, while a friendship at range 0 to 2 defends against a damaged attacker, the defender may reroll 1 defense die. Howl Runner, giving the reroll of an attack dice when at range 0 to 1 of a friendly ship. Just some great abilities that work really nicely in the small hit, but there is Derek going really quickly there. And swooping around does not like the thought of Vader coming in to the side there and taking some pot shots. And I don't blame past me for that either. I would not want to have a Vader sneaking in behind, but that is very nippy from the TIE fighters, closing right down. Bold move and a very aggressive move there. Something completely expected from Ben. He does tend to go for those aggressive plays, so good thing with this as well, if those B-Wing, well, it's likely to shut down the heavy laser cannon for the B-Wings as well, because they're likely to be too close to be able to get the double tap off. So whilst it's going to give them a range 1 potentially for their primary attack, if they're too close, they're not going to be able to double tap, so that is going to be pretty solid. And here comes Dutch. going to be looking to spread those locks around. So Grey Squadron has the two ties at the front, which is Del and Gideon. Dutch has just targeted Iden and can't see the colour on there, but I think it's Gideon at the top, and just spread those around. Probably going to look to give it to one of the B-Wings, but will it be Gina or Braylen is the question. Checking for that bullseye there with Braylen. He's got Predator as well, so and in comes Howrunner to finish the grouping there. Some nice flying there for myself, if I do say so. Now again, if this was the movies, a kill box like that would see those TIE fighters absolutely annihilated, but they've got extra hull, they've got the potential for rerolls, they do have initiative on most of the ships there, and Ben is player 1 for the turn as well, so he's going to get the option to take those first shots and cause a serious nuisance there to me. And Vader coming around the back as well. Is he going to go for Dutch, or will he... Obviously, Grey Squadron has cluster missiles, and whilst I struggle sometimes to get cluster missiles working exactly perfect, this could be a great time for some cluster missile action. But it looks like the focus is going to be on Grey Squadron at the moment. Oh, not a great first attack. But he's got the focus, he had fire control, so adding the ATC in there, that's an unfortunate first attack into Grey Squadron there. So shields down and onto the crits. Just a second, he did have Marksmanship, but it's not going to add any additional because already it still has shields up, so only going to be taking the one crit, which is a stunned pilot. So Howrunner next. Just check if that's range 1. Can confirm everything is range 1 of Grey Squadron, so this is likely to hurt quite a lot. But I'll take that. I will take that. You get a Howrunner reroll because you're still friendly to yourself. I mean, that's unfortunate for Ben, but I will take that any day. More shots needed to be put into Grey Squadron there, but it is going to be Gina up next. And just checking the ranges there. Looks like I'm too close for heavy laser cannon. However, that's okay because it's still a 4-die shot at range 1. Ooh, and a good few crits coming in there. Gotta love that, and that is one of it. Oh, trail mix there for the evade dice. That is an evade at the top. Does he spend the focus to not take 2 crits there? I think you got to, really. That is 2, so 1 crit going into Howl Runner. And it is a damaged engine as well, which TIE fighters definitely don't like. They like to keep their maneuverability up. That's one of the advantages they have over everything else on the board here, other than the A-Wing. But here comes the Endless Assault into Grey Squadron. So that's Gideon, now that he's damaged, getting the additional dice. Yeah, choose violence, spend that focus, 3 hits and a crit. Taking him down to 1 at the moment. That's pretty brutal. And the crit is a fuel leak. So nothing really to worry about when you've got 1 health left. But we do have Iden and Delmico left to shoot, so it'll be interesting to see if they're able to take it out at this point. Ooh, Howl Runner and Predator reroll needs both of these. Gets 1, has the focus, so could guarantee it, meaning that then shoot wherever. No, not using the focus. Didn't need the focus. That is going to be Grey Squadron down. So a nice, easy 4 points there for Ben. Did have to put a lot of shots in there to get that, but taking that down is always going to be good. And that leaves 1 shot to go elsewhere, which is going to be going into the B-Wings. Looks like Braylen. Crit 2 focuses. Do you spend the focus? I think you spend the focus if it was me. Checking for marksmanship. Not there, but if it was me, I'd spend the focuses, get those shields down on Braylen, because whilst it's only got 1 evade, there's a lot there, and you've still got Iden to cancel out a damage if you decide that you don't really like the idea of taking that. So 2 hits and a crit blank out there. Now, I did forget about Braylen's ability to be able to reroll 2 dice, so that is on me there. If you've got a stress with Braylen, you can reroll 2 defense dice or reroll 2 attack dice. So if you are running Braylen, do try and remember that one. Don't do what I did and forget. But here comes Braylen back with a range 2 shot into Iden there. Oh, that's nice. 2 hits and a crit against. We've got an evade, a blank, and a focus. So again, another case of trail mix there for Ben. Deciding whether to spend the focus at this point or save it for the inevitable heavy laser cannon that's coming. Oh, sorry, that was on Gideon. So taking it on Gideon, and then we've got the heavy laser cannon, and it was a structural damage on Gideon as well, which, you know, I think of the TIE fighters, Gideon and Howrunner are definitely the two that you're going to want to try and get down first, because Gideon can be really powerful. Obviously, Howrunner, given those rerolls, is always really good. Oh, so that was actually, sorry, that was Dutch a second ago. This is actually now Braylen. And that's triple crit with that shot. And that is into Iden. So that is damaged engine onto Iden. The rerolls from having the stress is heavy lasers, so they all get turned down to regular hits, unfortunately. And that is 2, possibly 3. Could spend the focus or just say no thank you to that. So it'd either put Iden down to 1 or 0, depending on what he decides. Obviously, he'll spend the focus if he decides that he's going to take the damage. But I think we're going to see the Iden Versio charge flipped. There we go. So Iden is taking no damage there. So would have been nice to get Iden down to half points to score there, but at the same time, that charge is flipped, so it's no longer available to Ben, which is going to make it a little bit easier for me to hopefully take that TIE fighter down later, or any of the other ones, in fact. But going into turn 3, it's currently 2 points to 5 in Ben's favour, both of us scoring the central objective there. And a Bomblet Generator being dropped. See if we can catch Vader out, or at least force Vader to take an action that he wasn't looking to take initially. Afterburners are both spent though, because he's moved in quickly with afterburners. And Derek can now look to come into the fight as well now. Ooh, some cheeky K-turns from the TIE fighters there, getting in behind. Because they don't have to worry so much about rerolls, as they've got Predator and Howrunner there. So having the focus, not having the focus, less of a detriment to them than most others. But that's going to give him potentially a lot of free shooting back at those B-Wings. So it's going to be interesting to see what they have decided to do this turn to try and basically get away with that. And that's not an ideal move. Clears the stress, but putting Braylen right in the gun line there. Gotta hope that Bomblet Generator catches at least one of those TIE fighters, otherwise this could be very painful for me. I'm going to be doing the focus barrel roll to get a bit further away. Also gives me the stress to give me the rerolls on evades, which I think is going to be absolutely key right now. And Dutch just getting out of the way there, does not want to be involved too much with that fight. Also, definitely wanted to get away from the Bomblet Generator that he's dropped there. Landing on your own Bomblet Generator is definitely not anyone's idea of a good time. Again, Gina, that's really not a great spot for Gina to be in, but not really anywhere else she was able to go there. Could potentially have some shots in on Vader depending on where he goes, but right now it is a bit of a sticky situation for those B-Wings. Increasing the range, that's really going to be key to keeping those two alive at the moment. Choosing not to get the focus and stress Gina out there, because putting double stress on Braylen is not going to be anybody's idea of a good time. Vader has put himself on that Bomblet Generator there, so that's going to be a little bit unfortunate for Vader there. So he is potentially going to be taking 2 damage there when that Bomblet Generator goes off. So fingers crossed for the Rebels that is the result that we're going to get, but we'll have to wait and see on that one. Looks like focus and target lock onto Braylen. So Braylen is going to be the target for this round, and that is double damage from the Bomblet Generator. And just checking to see if it catches Iden there. No, I think looks like it does not catch Iden, so we are okay. It's now down to Vader to shoot into Braylen. Hit double focus. Got 2 force, so could spend that or could spend the focus. That is the decision to make. Oh, okay, going for fire control system instead. I think what he's trying to save that for defense. He's got potentially 4 ships looking at him, so spends a force, gets a hit and a crit through, so that is going to be... No, sorry, just the crit going through, but that is into the shield. Spending the focus there, not risking the reroll, probably a good idea. And here comes Howl Runner. Again, Howl Runner reroll not coming in there. And an evade from Braylen. This good start for Braylen here. Gina now going to be taking a shot at Vader, who, as a reminder, is shields down now after landing on that Bomblet Generator, so this is the time to do it. Oh, does he spend that last force or does he take it? Could always use the focus, but it's only for 1, and he's got a fair amount of shots coming back into him, so that is a big decision. Take it, force or focus. I think you've got to spend 1 while you've got it, to be honest. Yeah. Spending the force to get another evade there. I think that's the right choice. If you only had focuses, then 100% spend the focus to get out of that, but save that focus just in case you do have a full set of eyeballs against a attack, so you've got to be careful. But let's have a look. Oh, good job we got the reroll from Predator and Howl Runner, but this B-Wing is going to... probably going to survive here. 1 more damage, so down to 3. 2 more shots to come in. This one is again Predator and Howl Runner, but it is Gideon, so he gets the extra dice. Not that it's gonna help there though. So I'm gonna have to do the double reroll. Hit crit, that's a lot better there. Gets the evade. So we have a crit going through on Braylen. What is the crit going to be? It's a fuel leak. That could be dangerous. Because we had the final shot. This is from Del Miko. Gets the hit. Howl Runner reroll. Blank out of the box. Reroll for Braylen. Braylen is down to 1, but he does survive that, which is impressive. Some unfortunate red dice there for Ben, and some good enough green dice to keep Braylen in the fight there, which is going to be important because we've now got shots going into Vader. That is 3 hits into Vader. That is 1 more damage onto Vader. He is slowly going down. That's half points on Vader as well, so that's big. Does Dutch have a dorsal? No. So we're going to have dorsal turret shot into Iden Versio instead. Just the 1, and handily evaded there by Iden, as you expect with TIE fighters. And the final shot of the game is, looks like a range 3 from Derek into Vader there. And Vader is taking another damage there. These green dice for Ben have not been great, so Vader is down to 1 and could potentially go down. But going into turn 4, it's currently 6 points to 8 in my favour. Half points on Braylen, full points for Grey Squadron for Ben, half points on Vader, and half points on Gideon for me there. So still quite a close game at this point. Anything can happen. Braylen staying up is very important. Be nice if he can avoid being shot by Howl Runner or Vader to get another shot in, but he is definitely the big target there. And looks like Derek is going to be coming in to see if he can just become an absolute nuisance here and disrupt that formation. So obviously getting Braylen down is going to be an extra 3 points for Ben, so that's going to be quite a key one. Then probably moving on to either Dutch or Gina. For me, definitely want to see if I can finish Vader off or get Gideon down, because they are very low and it'd be nice to remove them from the board. And just a cheeky little move away for Dutch there. Now, is he going for the target lock? We will find out in a moment. Unfortunately, this is the point where I forgot to turn the power on my laptop, so it died. So here we have, on TTS, a dramatic reconstruction of what happened to the best of our abilities. So, essentially, we got the target lock with Dutch. Braylen just did a cheeky little one bang round the corner, and then Derek did exactly what Derek was meant to do. Got in the way and disrupted that formation. We had Howl Runner go straight into Derek, with Iden coming in behind and not taking any damage on the bump, fortunately for Ben there, but no action is going to be available there for him. We got the camera all back up and running though fairly quickly. We noticed it, so only a little bit of miss, but coming back in, and there we go. That is actually the damage roll for Iden there. Sorry, Del Miko. that was the damage roll for. So Delmico took some damage there. But that is actually going to be really helpful for me, like disrupting that formation a little bit. It's going to make it a little bit trickier for Ben, which is exactly what we were hoping for. But Howrunner deciding, no, that's not where I was going to go anyway, and just coming up the side, probably to try and intercept or see if he can catch Gina and Dutch as they were coming back around. But right now it is an absolute cluster down at that bottom part of the board there. And Vader deciding, no thank you, don't really want any of that right now, and just moving away, which is probably not a bad thing. Just move away, get re-establish that force, because right now he's 1 health with 1 force. He definitely wants to be trying to regenerate the force and getting himself back into the fight in a better position. Good time to do it as well, because not much else is really got an opportunity to take a shot. We do have Derek that could take a shot, but Derek might have other ideas there. He is loaded with a rocket, so let's see where this goes. But I actually have player 1 token here, so it is going to be Gina to shoot first. Range 2 into Howrunner. Again, the dice cam, we couldn't get that back up and running, so we are rolling on the table. But that is some serious damage coming in there. That's at least 2 crits. They're taking Howrunner down to 1. That's a hit crit there, sorry. And the crit is a stunned pilot. Direct hit would have been lovely. Howrunner does not have arc. Just misses both ships there. Braylen obviously has nothing in arc, and we've got the dorsal turret for Dutch, which looks like it's only really going to be able to reach Gideon, which isn't a bad thing, because Gideon is definitely a thorn in our side at this point. Structural damage on that. That is going to be Gideon down. Gideon is down with a hit crit there. So that is some more points there, putting me 10 to 8, so putting me up on the points. So far, so good with a good round there, but taking Gideon down, again, we mentioned earlier, Howrunner and Gideon are probably 2 of the scarier ones on the board for us at the moment, with rerolls from Howrunner and Gideon getting to roll extra dice against a damaged ship. Now, it is I4 versus I4, so Gideon is still going to get to shoot, so likely his target will be Braylen. I mean, I don't see any reason not to. Braylen's got 1 health and a dream right now, and it'd be 4v1, so it's the ideal opportunity for Ben to get rid of a B-Wing and score some big points there. So let's see what the roll is going to be. So yeah, 4 dice. Into the dice tray, forgot that it died. But that is Braylen very, 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 very dead. So soaked up a load of shots though, which is exactly what Braylen was there to do, as well as dishing out some damage. So not a terrible turn of events there. Would have been nice to keep Braylen alive a bit longer, but again, he did a pretty darn good job there if you ask me, so not going to complain with that stint. Plus, I'm a big fan of B-Wings. I do like flying the B-Wings. So Iden going into Gina. Does have Predator and the Howlrunner reroll, so it's 2 hits so far. And that is going to be 2 shields down on Gina. And at this point as well, what we decide to do is, because we have a B-Wing model spare right now, we are going to swap it over to a B-Wing, so it is actually recognisable as a B-Wing. But we've got Del Meeko also going at Gina there. It's got the focus, so could be worth using it. Could get Gina down to half. Oh, go for the rerolls instead. So gets 1, saving that focus for defense, because as we said, we do have a Procket lined up here from Derek, and that is obviously going to be going into one person. That's going to be going straight into Del Meeko. 5 dice with a focus and a lock. Not that we need it. We've also got Marksmanship. That is, obviously it's not the clearest on there, but that is 2 hits and 3 crits there off of the Procket. So didn't even need the modifications. That is one of the most ideal rolls you will ever see, but that is going to be Del Meeko down as well. That is exactly what Prockets are designed for when they work. Didn't even need the mods, which it is pretty rare, to be honest. You don't see that happening, but interestingly, that is going to tie the game up 13 all. Both of us have 2 ships down. A lot of her around the board as well. 14 all when we add in the central objective. But so far, a really tight game. A lot of shots being thrown around, but some good evades and some bad red dice for some of us, unfortunately. But while we're waiting for those dials to go down, guys, just want to remind you, if you do like what we're doing here at Out of Arc Gaming, you can support us on Patreon. The link for that is in the description below. It gets you some behind-the-scenes access to what we've got planned coming up, including our discussion we're going to be having soon on the next season of Flight Academy. And yes, guys, Flight Academy will be coming back very soon. We're looking to start filming in about February time, and then hopefully getting that up on the channel come the beginning of March. So we will be talking about Flight Academy on there. So if you do like what we're doing and want to hear about that more, Patreon is the place to be. Cheeky little sloop there from Derek to get in behind those TIE fighters. And Ben forgetting that his TIE fighters have damaged engines, so unfortunately that is a red move for them. And Dutch just looking to get away from that Bomblet Generator that we dropped there, which could be key, could be quite brutal. But just getting those target locks on those TIE fighters and passing one to Gina as well. And unfortunately, that hard turn was exactly what Ben needed to stop me from getting all of the fun shenanigans. And here we go, swapping over to a B-Wing model. Don't worry guys, we are back in store this week, and we will try extra hard to make sure that we actually have the right model for the right ship that we're going to play. But nice position there from Howlrunner. Whilst it is a stressful move, still does mean that no mods from Gina there. And just wait and see what Vader has decided to do. And it is the Talon roll coming as far forward as possible. No locks out for Vader, so it doesn't have ATC active, but looks like it might potentially be getting marksmanship. And so the bomb does hit Iden, and it hits Iden for 2. And let's see if it hits Gina. Gina is taking 1 as well. So Bomblet Generators have been working very hard this game. I think that was 5 out of a possible 6 damage from the Bomblet Generators, so can't complain about that. 2 focuses. Gonna spend 1 force and get a shield down on Derek. So not a lot to write home about there from Vader, but he was essentially unmodified, so oh, that's 2. It's a hit and a crit onto Gina from Howl Runner, and the crit is a loose stabilizer. That's really not good. Gina is pointing directly at the bottom of the board and probably does not want to be doing a straight maneuver. Oh, and that's triple crit from Gina into Howl Runner there. And that is actually a blank out from Howl Runner. That, oh wow. These red dice have been very kind to me today. Very kind to me. A lot of crits have been rolled. It's almost like they know that there was only 2 shields on Ben's side. It was absolutely crazy. And absolutely fine there from Iden. Going into turn 6, it's 19 points to 15. And in all honesty, we actually completely lost track of what the scoring was whilst we were doing this. What with the little mishap with the camera. Kind of got a bit distracted, and at this point we thought that we might have been actually around about 19 to 17. So we thought it was very close, and we didn't know, after the game, we didn't even know who'd won until I got around to overlaying this. So that gave us a little bit of extra suspense here. But again, it's 19 to 15. But looking at it, Gina is hurting and could go down here quite easily. Iden obviously has an evade on there. Vader is still yet to move in. We're going to have to see exactly how this ends up, but loose stabilizer fixed on Gina in case you do get another round. Oh, if Vader had turned in on Derek and taken Derek out, that would have actually forced, that would actually have, could have potentially won it for Ben there. He would have got 3 points for Derek and been the only one at range of the central objective. So and that is 1 dead Gina there. The difference between having ATC and not having ATC is real there, guys. In all honesty, it's real what that difference can be. But Derek only Dutch only has Vader. range 3, no modifications. I foolishly forgot that I didn't need to rotate the turret and rotated the turret round. Don't know why. Should have left it at the side. So, but that's one. A blank out here. No, Vader survives. And the final shot, it's a range 2 in bullseye from Derek into Iden Versio with 1 health. So it's 2 with Marksmanship and the lock. So I need to get both of these through. So that is a hit and a crit. A blank out from Ben. That's not a blank out. He's got the evade. Iden Versio does survive the round, but at the end with the scoring, it's going to be 20 points to 18 in my favour. A very, very close but very fun and brutal game there for myself and Ben, just the way we like to see it. Really good fun to play some classic ships against each other there. And you know what? I love chance engagement. Chance engagement is just good fun. But yeah, very well done there, Ben. Unfortunate on those red dice, and it's taking a lot longer to take out Braylen and Grey Squadron than you anticipated. But still, a great fun game against a great player. Guys, that's going to be it for this week. Like I said, if you want to hear more about Flight Academy, check out the Patreon. We've got plenty more games coming up for you in the future, so please don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and we will see you next time.